Hi guys, let's make this quick. I want you to look at this really quickly. Those of you who investigate anomalies in the records of the Apollo moon landings, you might see where I'm going with this. You need to be careful when it comes to the angle of shadows argument, and this is why. Some of the things that you're going to be looking at are way off in the background. If you're at a low viewing angle to something, it's going to look a lot different, the shadow, than if you're over the top of something. So this is simulating that. We're clearly right over the top of this. We see this as an angle of, say 75 degrees or something like that. But as we crouch, that angle becomes less vertical because we can't see the vertical aspect anymore. We can still see the horizontal, and now it's even less so. It looks like it's mostly horizontal. As we look down on that one, it's very horizontal, 10 degrees, say, give or take, 10, 15, from 75 degrees to 10 degrees. So the viewing angle is very, very important. While I'm on this one, I want to say one other thing. Usually what you would say is that if shadows are falling on opposite directions of the objects, then that's your evidence of multiple light sources. If one object is dropping a shadow to the left, another object is dropping a shadow to the right, well, that's troublesome. But that's not necessarily true if the converging point off of the distance, like perspective, is on the frame itself. And in between two objects, one is going to drop it to the left and one is going to drop it to the right. Now, if the right object dropped it to the right and the left object dropped it to the left and away, then that would be something. But as you see here, they're dropping towards the center, which is the convergence point. And as you get lower, then it seems more dramatic. Look, this is clearly going way left, and this is obviously going to the right, and so there's multiple light sources. If you didn't have this cue here, you might think that. So be careful of that. The other aspect is that be careful to be sure that you're looking at an object, a photo that's not stitched together. They did a lot of panorama photos, and of course that means that the astronaut turns. And if he turns, then that perspective is at a different angle compared to the sunlight. But because it's presented flat, you don't necessarily know that. So make sure you're looking at single frames. And I just want to show you one other view where it shows everything in one spot. I like this because of that. So down here, you'll note that we have objects that we're looking right over the top of. We can see the vertical, that is the foreground to background aspect, really, really well. And, here we're looking at about a 45-degree angle. But if we zoom on up here to something we're clearly at a lower viewing angle for, you'll see instead this is more like a 25-degree angle, 30-degree angle at best. And then if you look further back yet and zoom in, you get, say, this one here where it's closer to a 10-degree angle. So again, though, the lesson is that you're looking over the top of one object. You're probably looking down at 70 degrees at this object down here. But at this object, you're probably looking down, across at 30 degrees, maybe less. So that's the discussion there. I think that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching. I do have some real live smoking gun evidences that the video record of the Apollo moon landings were faked. Doesn't mean we didn't go necessarily. We could have had another program. There's a lot of other excuses, but it does mean that some of the video evidence is fake. It is what it is. So please check those out. I've got 3 of those out right now, and please really pay attention to this and add this to the discussions when you're talking with other people, and be careful about the stuff that you throw out there. Thanks.